LLMS, is it still relevant? So now it's June 2026, and I keep getting asked this almost every day. So I thought I would revisit the subject, right? Last year, I believe it was in August, we did an audit about this. We looked at the server logs. So let's refresh it. Let's have a new perspective. A lot of things has changed in the industry since then, right? So the table of contents today, so what we'll be covering is what is the LLMs.txt, just so if you're not aware of what it is, right? Why I ran this audit, the analysis and where the data comes from, the findings, and then the recommendations, right? So what is the LLMs.txt file, right? So it's a purpose-built markup file that lives in the root of the domain, right? So like example.com/LLMs.txt. The idea behind it is actually not from an LLM itself, right? This doesn't come from OpenAI or Perplexity or Anthropic, and nothing like this. So someone made this, and somehow it went viral within the geo SEO community, right? And the idea is a curated machine-readable map of the site, right? It includes short summaries of hand-picked pages on your website, and it's a bit different than the sitemap or the robots text, right? The sitemap is an automated XML file. It lists every page that you have, and the robots just tells the LLMs where, or bots, what they can and cannot see, right? And you know, it sounds like a great file and a great idea, and you know, with tokenization limits and all the limits that LLMs have, the idea was that, okay, one file, everything, and that's it. At least I can ensure that my top pages are actually there, right? But it doesn't really go like that. So what I did is I looked at the server logs of almost 5,000 AEM hosted websites, right? So this is a very big sample. So it includes some of the leading global platforms and websites, right? And to my knowledge, this is probably the largest single audit of the LLMs.txt that I know of, right? So again, I try to be very factual, very data-driven here. These are not my opinions. Whilst I'll give you some recommendations based on the data, everything is based on the information that I see, okay? So let's start with, out of this amount, so the amount of domains is actually 4,685, right? Only 20 of these actually had LLMs.txt files, right? Some of them would still return a 200, right? So 137. And some of them, around 111, did serve some text, but the files were very small. So I couldn't say for, like, if it is an LLMs.txt file, is this really something, right? It could have been just, let's say, the title of the page, but as this file, right? So again, at the end, only 0.4% of the entire domains actually had this file to start with. Again, doesn't mean it's worthwhile to do it or not. This is just the first iteration, right? It's also worth noting that, of course, this might have an impact on if the probability of these files not existing, will the LLMs even try to get it, right? So this is why I'm also giving it here. But let's see who's actually hitting the files, right? So again, I looked at all of the bot requests. So again, these are not users, these are actual bots. So only 22,000 requests were made over 30-day window with all of these domains. Again, very, very big sample here, right? And 92% of this was actually SEO tools, right? So tools that actually monitor SEO, LLM visibility, right? So actually who's using these the most are actually the tools themselves, right? An interesting fact is search engines, and this is mostly Google. So there has definitely been an increase, and I'll get into that soon. So 6.4% of all the hits are actually Googlebot hitting it, right? Around 1.1% were actually LLMs itself, and the rest is not very significant. And I do believe that this 258, again, remember, 30-day period, almost 5,000 domains, it's a very insignificant number. This 1.1% is of the total bot hits. If you look at the total hits of the website, this is going to be like almost 8 zeros percentile here, okay? So again, it's a very small amount. And I was looking into these exact ones, and I'm in the opinion is that probably users are asking, let's say, ChatGPT to actually go to the file itself, and then it goes, right? I think this is a requested, like a RAG prompted by the user. So I don't even think these are real hits. So again, adoption is low, and much of it is non-LLM bots. Okay, so this is one of the outcomes from this, right? And 92%. So 60.1% of all the traffic came from agents, like I said, so self-labeled ones. And the 50 of 130 of the files hosted actually had no hits whatsoever. Okay, so again, I know there was only 20, but there was actually 130 files, and no LLM ever even tried to hit those as well. Okay, and what has changed since August 2025 until now? So Googlebot is definitely hitting it. Before we didn't see any interaction, and now we see 1,219 hits from the Googlebot itself, right? Again, it's still negligible, the amount of verifiable LLM hits. It's minimal with the OpenAI, so almost nothing has changed. There is definitely a lot more, let's say, SEO bots hitting it compared to before, right? Again, I think that there's a lot of new tools coming out, and now they are checking it. So again, the main difference is definitely that, right? And this also comes to the next conclusion. What I wanted to see is, from this file, do they actually go to when they read the LLMS, do they go to the page? Sadly, I saw 0 referrals from LLMs.txt, but it's understandable because it's actually a text file, right? So the bot will not click to it, and then there will be another interaction. So I did not see any logs with referrer data in this regard, right? But it could also be because the technology is different, right? So the LLMs.txt was not the gateway in the data, but again, just keep that as a caveat. What I did actually see, which was very interesting, which we'll investigate further, is that almost always the referrer page from an LLM bot hit actually comes from the home page. So we're talking about, again, this was a small analysis which came out as a finding of this audit, which definitely deserves more investigation. But based on the sample that I saw, I believe almost 90% of the hits actually originated from URLs coming from the homepage itself, right? Which makes sense, right? So if you look at the navigation, the homepage of a website, I would say probably 80 to 90% of all the traffic to that website goes to those pages, right? And so it does go hand in hand, right? There's definitely some long tail things there, but again, this data might be hidden within the sheer amount of the other hits as well. So what is my recommendation, right? It would be to create the LLMS style. Why? Because the Googlebot is now hitting it, right? And with AI mode becoming more and more prevalent, I cannot say for sure that they're using it for this, right? But as I saw with Martina's Reso post on LinkedIn the other day, there is now a check in the Lighthouse feature to see if there's an LLMs.txt file. So again, do it, because you can treat this as a low effort insurance, right? So it's not something that you're going to do, oh my God, we've increased the visibility, but it's something that you can do that honestly, it doesn't cost you anything. You can manually create one of these files, right? Include maybe the URLs from your top navigation, your top pages, add the summary, and that's it. Then it's done. You don't have to keep, I think just keeping asking this every quarter and this topic coming up again and again and again. My recommendation, just do it, move on to the next thing, okay? But do not expect LLM citations from day one, right? It could be they change the technology. But definitely keep investing in the homepage and the links on your homepage. So for example, if you have new pages, maybe you have entities, try to add some link boxes to the homepage. I think this is something that worth investigating. And again, keep an eye on Google AI mode and AI overviews. Again, they are hitting it quite a lot. And the key takeaway from all of this is, again, create LLMs.txt because it is cheap and Google is now looking at it, right? Not because it will give you citations or in traditional LLMs today. And if you want to see the full data and the full summaries, I've published it in my blog, and you can see the full details there. And okay, thank you very much, and I hope this was informative to you.